As I see the clouds coming in to obscure the view of the mountains behind me, one of my thoughts is around the agility that businesses in the mountains need to have in order to succeed in producing a good income, irrespective of the current conditions. They need to be able to adjust very quickly when the weather's good. The hotels, for example, need to ensure that they can cope with the demand for their services. Ski shops need to similarly to adjust their capacity to cope with the fluctuating demands. Now, one of the advantages, of course, we've got in more recent times is the accuracy of our weather forecasts. This is perhaps a good example of where large amounts of data processed by fast computers and fed by ever-increasing numbers of sensors allows business to have more informed forecasts and therefore make better business decisions. An example of how agility can really be helped by big data. Building on the themes in the Raising Agility chapter of Strattomics, I encourage you to consider 6 actions in your enterprise. First of all, consider your as-is in terms of profitability and distinctive capabilities. Then consider what's changing in your external environment, your organisation, and develop alternative views of what the future may look like for your organisation. Then develop a robust plan to develop the capabilities you need, and then focus on really implementing the plan robustly so that you gain value as quickly as possible. A good way to start thinking about the current state of your business is to think about the revenues, and more importantly the trend in your revenues. Are they increasing over the level of last year? Are they increasing more quickly than last year? Or have you gone into a period of decline? It can also be helpful to consider how distinctive the capabilities are of your enterprise in relation to your competitors. On this graph, in the red dotted line, I've charted the distinctiveness of the capabilities of one particular enterprise. As you can see, in the early days, they've grown their capabilities and the distinctiveness indeed of those capabilities in relation to their competitors. There's then quite a long period where there's only a modest increase as they've learned more and have engaged certain continuous improvement activities, but then suddenly their distinctiveness disappears. In this case, as a result of a new entrant to the marketplace appearing. Now, as you can see here, that drop of distinctive capabilities is followed fairly quickly by a drop in revenues. Secondly, how's the external environment going to impact your enterprise? Do you anticipate changes in economic factors? For example, are your labour costs likely to increase due to a shortage of the skills you need? Are there political changes that could significantly impact you? For example, may your local politicians decide that business premises such as yours can be converted to more valuable residential use? Are technical changes likely to change the demand for your products or services? Or will new technology allow your products and services to be delivered in new ways? Are there social changes emerging that your enterprise can exploit? Is your enterprise in a position that you have particular threats or opportunities from environmental changes, such as the availability of water? Are legal changes expected that could significantly impact you? For example, is your business in an increasingly regulated environment? If we then think more specifically about your competitive environment, do you expect the power of buyers of your products or the suppliers of the components or services you buy in to change? What are the risks of your customers finding substitutes for your products or services?
Is your market sufficiently attractive for new competitors to start meeting the needs of your customers, either in new ways or by replicating your processes? What's changing in the market for your products or services that your customers use to complement the offerings they buy from you? Are there government changes? Perhaps a move to focus on giving small suppliers a preference? Then if we think about your own organisation itself, how strong and relevant are the shared values? Is your strategy relevant to the future needs of your customers and the new opportunities in your markets? How efficient and effective are your systems and structure? Most importantly, is the enterprise style appropriate for your enterprise in this second decade of the 21st century? Do the skills and staff provide the capabilities you need to execute your strategy? Then it's helpful to think about alternative scenarios. One approach to this is to identify perhaps the 5 strongest forces driving change in your marketplace. Think about the impact of each of these driving forces on your enterprise. And then for each driving force, consider 3 alternative impacts, assuming the best, worst, and most probable cases. Then for each identified impact, consider what response your enterprise should prepare. Armed with this thinking, it's time then to develop plans to address both the opportunities you've identified and also to increase the overall agility of your enterprise. Then it's time to focus on implementation. Now, I believe that the initiatives to grow capabilities are most effective when they're part of the pyramid that I discuss in Strattomics.
Our world is changing fast. Enterprises that are agile are more likely to flourish. Underpinning this chapter of Strattomics is my personal belief that leaders and managers with a forward-thinking mindset are already on the first step of their climb towards greater enterprise agility. I hope that the tools that I've introduced in this chapter of Strattomics will help you think about the future of your enterprise and provide you with some practical tools to help your climb towards more agile capabilities.
Thank you for watching this short video. Copies of Strattomics are available from Amazon in both paperback and Kindle editions. Please follow Strattomics on Twitter